1, 2, 3.
What's up, everybody? This is your girl CC with WIB Magazine, and I got my co-host on the line with me. What's up, Nikki Monday? How are you?
I'm doing well, CC. How are you?
I'm good. We have a special guest on the line today. We got DJ Kash, my homie. How are you?
I'm great, man. I'm great. How are you?
I'm good. I haven't seen you in a minute.
Yeah, I haven't seen a lot of people in a minute with this whole quarantine thing, so.
Right.
Well, let's start. I want to ask you, how did you come up with the name DJ Kash, and what's the meaning behind that?
The way I got that name was actually, that had nothing to do with music, actually. It's crazy, because I got it from playing basketball. So I had a mean jumper when I was younger, and then every time I used to shoot, they used to say, that's Cash Money. So everybody used to call me Cash Money, and then somehow, somewhere along the way, it got shorted to Cash. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's how I got my name. Playing basketball.
Yeah, since like 9 years old, I had that name.
Wow.
Since like 9 or something like that. Something around there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Well, how has the experience been working with 107.9?
It's been amazing. It's a younger station. It's a young feel. They're just very vibrant over there. They get me and what I'm trying to do and where I'm trying to take my career. So it's been amazing. I love it.
What has been one of your most memorable times being in the industry, period?
Man, that's such a hard question, because there's so many times. Like, the first time I went overseas, like the first couple of times I went to overseas in certain countries, there's so many moments. Like, there's no way I could pinpoint like a specific moment. There's no way.
You don't have a favorite one though? One that just stands out to you?
I don't. There's so many. Like, the times I've visited certain countries that just touched me. Like, you know, times I've just rocked a crowd in one country and then come here and then kill a crowd for 20,000, and then the next day do a day party and then jump on a flight to another crowd somewhere with 10,000 people and jump on. Like, I have so many moments like that it's just, I wouldn't say there's a particular moment. It's just that feeling is my favorite feeling. You know what I mean? Being able to do stuff like that and kill a crowd for 40,000, come back, do birthday bash, leave birthday bash, perform for the troops in Qatar, and then go do Summer Jam with Cardi B and come, like, that was one weekend for me. Like, you know what I mean? So it's just a feeling, like, and I have a lot of those type of weekends. So it's just a feeling for me, you know? I wouldn't say it's a particular event.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So since you just mentioned all these things that you've done in such a short amount of time, what's been your favorite gig that you've worked this far?
Like I said, I don't know. I don't have a favorite. I just have a favorite feeling, and that's just a feeling of making like people go crazy and dance and have fun. So I don't really have a favorite moment or a favorite party. There's too many. I've been DJing for 23 years. I would say, like, it's sad, but I would say the first time I DJed for 10,000 people, but I've DJed for 10,000 people so many times that I don't even remember my first time. You know what I mean? So it's, you know, or say, the first time I DJed for 40,000 people. I've done that so many times. I can't remember my first time.
That's that DJ Legend style right there. That's that DJ Legend style.
So that's why I can't pinpoint it to a particular party, or I could just say like, I just have a favorite feeling, and that's the feeling of just making people just go crazy and have fun and have a good time.
Okay. Yeah, that's something wrong. I thought you were going to give me at least one good moment where you're like, man, I can't believe this is happening. Like, your mind is blown. But I can understand that, too, for being in the game for so long.
I used to say, the party, when I DJ a party and Jay-Z's there, and then I did that. And then I was like, man, and then I did it again with Beyonce, him and Beyonce. And then I did it like, so I used to think I had moments like that, but then I would just trumpet and then trumpet and then trumpet, and then it would happen again and again and again. and it doesn't feel. I don't have that like moment where it's like, man, you know, I remember there's so many of them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
There's so many, so it's hard to like pick one. It's really hard.
I feel that. So just tell us a little bit more about how you got into DJing. If that's
well, like, yeah. So I started DJing at 15. So I was kind of like a, you know, wild kid in the streets. I wasn't just like a super thug or something like that, but I was just, you know, a kid growing up in Brooklyn. I'm running around in the streets, having fun with my friends, just acting up, doing dumb stuff. And then it got to the point where they were going to kick me out of junior high school. Like, I wasn't even going to finish junior high school. Like, forget a high school diploma. They were going to kick me out of junior high school. And then my mom was just kind of like, is this what you want your life to be? Like, you're going to get kicked out of junior high school, you know? And she was just like, I don't even hear you talk about your dreams and aspirations and talk about what you want to be when you grow up. So she was like, what do you want to be when you grow up? And I was just like, I always loved music, and I always looked up to this dude in my neighborhood called Todd Terry. He's a big DJ. Even now, he DJs house music. So I always looked up to him, and I just told her I want to be a DJ. And my mom, being an immigrant mother, didn't really understand what that was. You know, my mom's an immigrant mom. She's old school. She was just kind of like, I don't know if you can make a living doing that, but if that's what you want to do, if you straighten up, you finish junior high school, I'll make sure we make that happen for you. So the day after my junior high school graduation, my brother took me and got a DJ set. Yeah, I was 15. I had no records. And that was the time, you know, it was records. I had 2 turntables and a mixer and some speakers, and I had no records. And we bought the equipment at a record store, and I didn't have a single record. So yeah, that's how I got started.
Gotcha. So how you been staying relevant while we've been quarantining? Have you been doing some DJ battles or just doing DJ sets on live on IG?
I have been. I paired up with Branson Cognac, which is 50 Cent's Cognac, and I've been doing lives with them. Plus, I'm on the radio 5 days a week, so that helps me stay relevant, you know what I mean? Right. And then, but other than that, I've been staying low. I haven't been doing too much clubs. I ain't doing no clubs. I'm not doing any parties. I'm just kind of chilling. I have 2 young babies at home, so I'm really not trying to risk nothing. So I'll just wait until things are a little better, and then I'll come out and do some more parties.
Okay. Well, I know you've been in the Atlanta area. Tell me at least 3 things you love about Atlanta.
I love seeing successful Black people. Growing up in New York, you don't see a lot of successful Black business owners, homeowners, judges, congressmen, policemen. So that did it for me. I was just like, wow, this is dope. I never really seen so many Black cops, Black judges and stuff like that. So that did it for me. That was number 1. And just the energy here is just undescribable. You know, it's just, you can't even really put it into words. It's just a dope feeling here. You come here, people just love life. You know what I mean? They just love life, and they just love to have fun. They just love to prosper. It's all about, you know, getting to the next level. So I love those 2 things. And I would say the third was just the music scene. The music scene is just amazing here. So, and I'm a lover of music. I make my money in music. That's my business. That's my trade. So I was just like, this is amazing. So those 3 things I would say for sure.
I definitely agree.
Okay. And who would you say you have the most respect for in the industry when it comes to working with artists, or, you know, just being in the same room with somebody? The moment that person comes in, like, who do you immediately, you know, just feel that energy and that synergy with?
There's probably like 2 people, like Todd Terry being one. Like, he's the one that basically I mimic my whole career off of. So like, I have a crazy amount of respect for him. When he walks in the room, it's just like, it's amazing to me. You know, he's just that type of guy. He's like a DJ god to me, you know? And then Khaled, man. Me and Khaled have been friends for a long time, and Khaled is just a super, like, how you see Khaled in the public eye is how he really is in real life. Like, that is not an act. It's not a gimmick. Like, that's how Khaled is in real life. You know what I mean? And it's the most inspiring thing you could probably ever, like, witness, because I would have conversations with Khaled like, yo, this radio station wants me to get on in another state. And he'd be like, you could do it. You be the best. You could do it. Like, that's how he really is in real life. It's not an act. Like, he doesn't get on Instagram. Really, like, in personal, private conversations, he speaks to me like that. And it's just really motivating because, and he would do that too. Like, he'd be talking in his meetings like, no, you can't do that. You know why? You know what I could do? I could do this and da-da-da-da. And it's just, and it's not a cockiness. It's not an arrogance. It's just a confidence and a believing in yourself and knowing your value and knowing your worth. Like, those two dudes, they the ones that like really push me and help me.
Awesome.
Sure.
Okay.
That's great motivation to have, you know, two legends like that push you and just be real. Cause he gives me that motivation just listening to him. I just love his style. When he be like, "You can do it." When he be talking, I be like, "Yes."
So he's very motivating. Khaled is I never heard him say anything negative about somebody. Even though he knows they're saying negative stuff about him, being in negative situations, I've never heard him complain. I've never heard him speak He's just always like, we're gonna get through this. We're gonna win. I'm telling you. And then when we win, we're gonna win more. Like, and it's like, Khaled, this whole shit is going down the drain, bro. Like, this ship is sinking. He's like, nah, man, we're gonna make it. Like, that's how he really, really, really is in real life. Like, I cannot stress that enough. Wow. You know what I mean? I cannot stress that enough. So those two, Todd Terry and Khaled, definitely.
Awesome.
Okay, cool. So I got another question for you. Like you mentioned before, you've been in the industry for so long that you kind of pick up on, you know, do's and don'ts. So what is one mistake that you see a lot of artists that you see a lot of DJs making? And then what also would you give advice to some young DJs who are watching this interview now who kind of, you know, want to kind of model themselves after DJ Kash? You know, for the next generation of DJs?
I would say, like, one of the main things I see DJs doing wrong is, like, their expectation level. Sometimes it's either too high or too low. You just have to kind of really be humble in this industry. Like, you're not going to come in the game and be the hottest dude out off the rip. You're not going to come in the game and be getting paid with a DJ Kash or a DJ Khaled or whoever gets paid. You can't basically benchmark it from what you see going on. You kind of just got to do your own thing. Like, don't pay attention. Like, well, this DJ rocks for this long and they get this amount of money. Like, don't pay attention to that. Like, they've been doing it for a long time. They set they stand. They're doing what works for them. So newer DJs, I think that's one of the biggest mistakes. They model their career and their method based off what everybody else is doing and what everybody else is getting. And I think you should just know what it is that you want to achieve and stay in that lane and do it at your own pace. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I would say, like, for them to get to a certain level where they see where I'm at and they want to get there. I got here by, like, really learning my history and really studying other DJs. You know what I mean? So it's just, like, you kind of got to humble yourself and just kind of, like, know your history. A lot of DJs nowadays, you ask them about maybe, like, a Biz Markie, who's a great DJ, or Grandmaster Flash, or they don't know anything about them. But if you learn their history, you know it, you'll see, like, you can really learn from their journey. So I would say definitely stay in your own lane, keep your eyes on your own paper, don't watch what everybody else is doing, don't watch what everybody else is getting, and just focus on your goal and where you want to be. And don't feel any kind of way if you're the lowest paid DJ in the pool. It doesn't matter. Right. Like, you kind of got to get your wings. You kind of got to, you know, earn your stripes.
Okay.
Absolutely. That's pretty good advice.
Go ahead.
Oh, no, I was just saying that was some pretty good advice.
I want to know, what's one fun fact about you, DJ Kash?
I don't know. I guess I'm a foodie. I love food. I love food. I love a good meal. Like, a good meal will get me every time. You know what I mean? So I guess that's a fun fact for me. And
so what's your favorite dish then?
Huh?
What's your favorite dish?
Caribbean food. I like this Haitian dish called sauce poire, which is basically like bean stew on some rice, it's really good. So that's my favorite dish in the world. I could probably eat that every single day. I love food and I love Haitian.
So one other question. So I know you the Haitian kid and everything, but don't you have like a hat line and clothing line?
Yeah, so I have a hat line. Actually, I had to, this is crazy. It's funny you mentioned that because I was literally with my manufacturer yesterday going over some stuff, but I had to stop for a minute and kind of regroup because the business was going too well. I couldn't keep up with orders. So I have a hat line that represents Haiti. It's something simple because I wanted a hat that I could wear that represents Haiti, but every hat I seen was like the colors of Haiti, which is red and blue. And I'm a all black type of guy. I like wearing all black, you know what I mean? So I couldn't find something that went well with like my all black stylish kind of look. So I was like, okay, I just randomly just came up with a logo and was like, oh, I'm gonna just put on a black hat that says Haiti and whatever. And then everywhere I wore it, every time I would be in the airport, which was a lot because I was traveling to do gigs and stuff, so many people would stop me and be like, where did you get the hat? I'm looking for a plain black Haiti hat. And so I just got something. I was like, all right, I'll make you one. And they give me their number and stuff, and I would make them. And then I would have me in pictures in the club wearing a hat, and I would put it on my Instagram. And so many people would hit me like, yo, where'd you get the hat? So I just started selling them. And it went crazy. Like at first I just, I had 100 made, and it went like in a day and a half. And I was like, man, I was like 100 hats in like a day. So I got 100 more. And then it maybe took me like a week, and then I got 100 more, and it took me a week, and then it was just gone, and then I couldn't keep up with the orders anymore. 100 would be gone, and then I would get 100 more orders before I could even print up 100 more. So I had to kind of like shut down production and figure out a better way to keep up with the demand.
You need your team so you can keep it going.
Yeah, and I literally had to hire people. I was literally at first meeting people. Like they would DM me like, how much is the hat? Can I get one? And I would meet up with them, and I would just give, and then I was just mailing them. I had an e-commerce, and then I couldn't keep up with the orders with my schedule. I couldn't package them. I couldn't send them out. So I literally had to hire people because the orders were going like that crazy. So I sat with my manufacturer yesterday, and hopefully in about another 2 weeks, we'll be ready to rock and roll.
Okay. Well, congratulations.
Appreciate it.
So I ask you, Kash, what's your favorite album of the year so far?
Of this year?
Yeah.
Man, there hasn't been too many albums that dropped either this year. But so far this year, I like Roddy Ricch. Was that this year? That was this year, right? Roddy Ricch. Was that the tail end of 2019?
I think that might have been the tail end of 2019. Cause you talking about the one with the box, the Antisocial?
Yeah. So that was the tail end of 2019?
Yeah, I think that was, yeah.
So right now, probably like one of my favorites is Pop Smoke and of course Khaled. Well, no, Khaled wasn't this year either.
No.
Nah, but he's supposed to be dropping one though, right?
Yeah. So far I love Pop Smoke. I love Pop Smoke. Yeah.
Nice.
Far I've been bumping that like crazy.
Yeah, that's the hottest thing in the streets now.
We had another DJ on the line, and he said he loved August Alsina new one that just came out. I was just checking that out last night. It was pretty good. So songs.
He dropped the whole album?
Well, he got a lot of songs on YouTube, so I'm a YouTube person. So he dropped it was by at least 17 or more on there, and I was just listening like, gosh, but I think he did, because that's who the DJ we had last week, he said that he listened to August. August was one of his favorites for this year.
Wow.
So if you like August, maybe check it out.
Wow, yeah, I'm gonna check it out. I definitely like August. I'm gonna check it out for sure.
So I got another question for you, because being from a Caribbean family, you're from Haiti. My mom's side of the family is from Jamaica, but
nice.
It's always a thing where, foreign parents, they don't, when you're not doing what they want you to do, like go to medical school or do something with a really crazy occupation, they don't see it first. They don't see you, being a DJ first, and they say, oh, he's gonna make a lot of money. So at what point was your mom doing the, oh, that's my son, my son, yeah, that's, what I'm saying, that's when he's doing it big. When did you have that period?
I think for her, like my mom never really, even though you're right, like Caribbean parents do put that pressure on their kids and stuff, but my mom never really put that pressure on me. So my mom's thing was always like, as long as you happy and you staying out of trouble, I'm all good. My mom never pressured me to be a lawyer, a doctor, or like most Caribbean parents do. Like either you're a lawyer or a doctor or engineer. That's the only thing they know. You know what I mean? So my mom never pushed me to do that. My mom was just like, I just want you to be happy, and I want you to stay out of trouble. That's that was all my mother cared about. As long as you staying out of trouble and you're happy, cool. So, but the moment for her that she's seen, like, oh wow, okay, my son is doing it. I think it was a few things. I think one time I was going to pick her up and somewhere, I can't remember where, and she was like, oh, my son is coming to pick me up, and they were like, what's his name, so we know when he gets here. And it was like, she said Kash or whatever. And it was like, oh, like the DJ? And she was like, yeah, that's my son. And then they were like, what? That's your son? And she was like, yo. So that happened to her a few times. And then she heard me on the radio, and she seen like people around her was getting excited that I was on the radio, and like she cried. She was like, I can't believe it. Like, so I think that was there was a few moments that made her realize like, oh, okay, my son is like, he's popular. He's doing his thing. You know, when people started around her was kind of like, wow, like that's your son. And then she heard me on the radio. She was like, oh, okay, my son is official. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think those were the moments for her. Yeah, those were the moments for her for sure. Yeah.
So where do you see DJ Kash going in the next couple of years? What do you see yourself at?
Next couple of years, I think I'm gonna just focus more on production. I dropped a song with YF and Lucci and DeMarco, who's a big international dancehall artist. We dropped that last year, and I think next couple of years I'm gonna just focus more and more on production, because it did really well overseas. So I think I'm gonna just continue to focus on production for the next couple of years, and DJing, of course. So I'm gonna DJ on all those countries where my songs do really well. So
awesome.
Yeah, that's what's up. Yeah, man.
Well, Mickey Monday, go ahead.
Yeah, I do. Actually, I have one more question. So, with the versus battles being a really popular thing now, who do you want to see go head to head? Because the timeline been talking about Usher and Chris Brown lately as the next two. So who do you think would be a good matchup for the next versus battle?
Man, Jay-Z and Nas. That'd probably be next to impossible. But that would be like to me, that would be the battle of all battles. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
So that would be next. I wouldn't even probably care to see no more verses after that. You know what I mean? Yeah. The Bounty and Beanie was like my favorite one though. Like that's legendary right there. That was me, like, yeah, I'm Caribbean, so and if you're Caribbean, you know the history of Bounty and Beanie, them having a feud and them warring for so many years, and then to come together and do something like that, that was like amazing. So I think it would have the same feel with like the Jay-Z and Nas. Them once were beefing and then come together to do something positive like that, something like versus, that would be like insane.
Yeah, they just posted the next one. The next one is Rick Ross and 2 Chainz. Yeah, that come out August the 6th. Yeah. So who you rooting for?
I don't know. They're both dope. They're both really dope. You know what I mean? And they both got songs that I play all the time in the clubs. So that one's gonna be interesting. So.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we want to do a trivia question with you before you get off the line.
Okay.
Sure.
Actually, my trivia question is something like versus. So if they had a versus for DJs, who would be 2 DJ legends or 2 DJs that you would want to see battle?
You see, like, I'm Caribbean, so that whole versus thing comes from something we call a sound clash. You know what I'm saying? So I would want it to be more of a sound clash type of thing. You know what I mean? So there's a sound or a group of DJs called Stone Love. So I would probably want to see like a Stone Love versus another group of DJs called Bass Odyssey. So I wouldn't see them go to battle each other. So Caribbean people know who I'm talking about though. They know Stone Love and they know Bass Odyssey. So I would probably want to see the 2 of them clash. That would be like legendary to me.
Yeah. I was about to say,
even though I think they've clashed years and years ago in the past, but it would be dope to see them now, like on this type of platform. That would be dope.
Yeah. Stone Love is huge too. Like to this day, they still making sounds and
yeah. Stone Love's been around what, like 35 years or something crazy.
Yeah.
Like same with Bass Odyssey, they've been around 35, 40 years, something crazy like that.
Right. Man, that's a good. Now I'm sitting here thinking about it. I might have to pull up, pull up YouTube a little later.
Yeah, I know they've clashed
some music
before,
up.
but it was years ago. Yeah, I don't think they've clashed recently. I'm talking maybe 10, 15, maybe even 20 years ago. But yeah, because Stone Love don't really clash like that anymore. But
Right.
they're crazy. They're fully loaded. So
yeah, okay, yeah. Like I said, I'm gonna check that out for sure to see if it's online. For my trivia question, it's a really simple one. I mean, it's probably gonna make you think, but it's really simple.
Right.
What would you say is like your favorite item that you bought this year? Just given the whole situation, what's been going on, what's one item that you bought this year where you're like, man, that was a good investment?
Man, there's actually a few. I literally I DJ so much on the road that I don't even have equipment at home. Like I don't I'm never home, and I literally produce on my laptop on the plane. Like I'm with my headphones. So I bought a whole setup during this. I bought a DJ controller, I bought a SRT, I bought some JBL monitors, I bought what's it called? A Zor Sky, like a table. I bought a bunch of stuff. So I bought a whole little studio setup. So that would be like my best purchase this year. You know what I'm saying? And I'm still buying stuff. Like literally yesterday I was at Guitar Center. So my little studio setup is like probably the best thing I bought all year, because I'm like doing mixes on the radio, and I'm on here. I'm on Valdosta. I'm about to be on the radio in Columbus as well. So I'm doing all these stations from my crib. So that's probably the best investment I bought this year for sure. Yeah.
All right, cool. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Well, congrats on everything you're doing, and thanks for interviewing with us today.
Thank you for having
me.
Thank you for having me.
Also, before you get off, tell everybody where they can follow you at.
One, two, three.